President Joe Biden is coming to the aid of the wildfire victims in Los Angeles, announcing yesterday that he's offering them all substantial relief.
And I want to be clear, we're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770, one-time payment, so they can quickly purchase things like water, baby formula, and prescriptions. So far, nearly 6,000 survivors have registered to do just that, and $5.1 million has gone out.
Joe Biden is offering $770 in a one-time payment to the victims of the wildfires in California. Let me just make sure I heard that properly.
$770.
Yeah, all right, $770, which, if you're following along or if you're familiar with Los Angeles, covers about, I don't know, maybe 1.5 nights in a hotel room anywhere in downtown Los Angeles. Joe Biden thinks that $770 is ample relief to people who have lost pretty much everything. This is, of course, a guy who doles out $500 million to Ukraine on the regs. This is a guy who has pledged billions of dollars in support to Ukraine and Vladimir Zelensky. This is a guy who, when Americans need effort and when Americans need help and when Americans need aid, pledges less than $1,000 per person.
And I want to be clear, we're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770.
I don't know about you, but I forgot that guy was still president. $770.
$770.
Now, this is, of course, $20 more than the North Carolina Hurricane Helene victims got. You may remember Kamala Harris got trolled incessantly online when she visited the area along with FEMA and said, we're going to give you $750.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
$750 is what you got if your home was devastated and ravaged by a mudslide or a hurricane in North Carolina. If, however, your fire was ravaged in California, and I guess maybe there's a cost of living increase, Joe Biden is one up in Kamala by throwing another $20 on the
$770.
But, you know, it's not just money that the administration is offering to the people who've been devastated by the wildfires in California and who've lost pretty much all of their belongings, all of their real estate. And for a lot of people, their finances, their fortunes were in their real estate. Their real estate, it wasn't just a house or a home, it was an investment. And now they've lost not just their place to live, but all of the money they've been saving up. Kamala Harris says, you know what, we're going to give you $770, but there's something else I'd like to give you, a little bit of advice.
So it's critically important that, to the extent you can find anything that gives you an ability to be patient in this extremely dangerous and unprecedented crisis.
Kamala Harris says it's important that you do whatever you can to remain patient in this crisis. It's important that you, whatever you can do, whatever you can think of, whatever you can muster, whatever thoughts come to mind that are going to make you feel patient, that's what we need you to do.
And so it's critically important that, to the extent you can find anything that gives you an ability to be patient in this extremely dangerous and unprecedented crisis.
I'll tell you what, I bet a lot of those people in LA are finding patience in the fact that we're just 6 days away from Donald Trump coming back to office and cleaning up this entire mess. I mean, this is adding insult to injury, not just the $770 to these people that have lost their homes and their livelihoods and their memories and their schools and their businesses and everything and their dignity. Not just $770, but now Kamala Harris saying, oh, also, you need to be patient. You people need to step back and relax. This is, by the way, the same government. This is the same party. Kamala Harris is a Democrat. She's from California. Joe Biden is a Democrat. Gavin Newsom is a Democrat. This is the same party. The same party that's responsible for not mitigating this devastation or preventing this devastation, the same party that's responsible for the aqueducts and the reservoirs being emptied or not used in an appropriate way to make sure that the fire hydrants had water. I mean, think about this. These people's houses burned because there was no H2O coming out of the fire hydrant. I don't know if they know what hydrant comes from hydro, which stands for, well, water. And there wasn't any, and it's Gavin Newsom's fault. It's Kamala Harris's fault. It's Joe Biden's fault, because this is a party that prioritizes the wrong things. Instead of protecting the people who put them in office in the first place, they're out there pushing weird DEI initiatives. And that's how we got to the place where we are now. And now Kamala Harris is asking for all of these people to please be patient. We're going to give you $770 and you can do whatever you want with it. And then you have to go off and you have to just wait very calmly for us. We will get to you in due time. We will get you. Just wait your turn. Now, the interesting thing about all this is that FEMA, which is the same organization that was passing out the $750 checks in North Carolina, which, by the way, a lot of people apparently didn't qualify for, is now going to be handing out the $770 checks in California. But FEMA is one of those organizations where I'm not saying there's a lot of waste, but they just don't really see. One hand doesn't seem to know what the other's doing. Case in point, Jonathan Carl was interviewing somebody about FEMA, I forget who it was, on his show the other day. Listen to what's going on in the ground in LA with various different resources that are available, well, to the folks in LA.
Ask you about those active duty military that you said stand ready to be deployed. Secretary Austin, the Pentagon authorized 10 helicopters, 500 Marines back on Thursday. How is it? My understanding is, as of now, correct me if I'm wrong, California hasn't made the request to use them yet. Why is that?
You know, I'd have to defer to the incident commanders, right? The incident commanders on the ground know what the needs are, where they need to put people. And often in these situations, it's very strategic. It's not necessarily about always putting more people on that. We have to make sure that it's safe. And, you know, you can only add so much aircraft in the airspace. And so they would have the specifics about the strategies that they're using, but we want to make sure that we're not late to need. And if they have that need, they can move them in.
So basically, they have no idea what's going on the ground. The incident commanders are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. The military is offering 10 helicopters, and she's saying that's not safe. The airspace is already inundated with planes flying around. 10 helicopters? I mean, LA is a big place. I imagine 10 helicopters could fly around safely and do some serious, fire prevention, or at least help people get from place to place. But FEMA and the government and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what the needs of the people are. They have no idea how insulting it is to offer somebody who's lost everything $770 and then tell them when they complain to be patient.
$770.
Yeah. Now just sit back, relax, and wait for President Donald Trump to come in and save the day. I mean, you've only got a couple more days. I mean, really, if you've waited this long, you can wait a couple more days. If you enjoyed any part of this video whatsoever, if you found it entertaining or informative or inspirational, do both of us a favor. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and set that notification bell. Ding! We want to make sure that every time we bring you content, which is often, you get it right away. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right now.